All right, live. I mean, you ready? You good to go?
Yeah, I think we're good now.
All right, live, live on time, on point, coming free charge. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 221st live edition of Long Time Coming, highly anticipated, never duplicated, often supplicated, underappreciated, Never About You program. You can have a tweet while you're waiting. Never About You is Never About You is Nickel Standard, Penny Compensated Talents, William Bishop, Blake Ever, Stable, Mediator, Round Raiders, Third Round Draft Pick, Name, Later, Three People, Two Tims, One Dream, Broadcasting's finest train wreck. Never About You is Gordon Media presentation with YouTube, iTunes, available on Spotify, Anchor FM, wherever good podcasts are sold. And now, here he is. He's had a week.
It's been a week. It's been a week for the whole world. You know?
It's been a week for the whole
world.
Specifically the streaming world, Mr. William Bishop.
Really
How are you, man?
The gaming industry, streaming world, Dr. Disrespect Cup, and
so you and I have talked
USA
a little bit
took
every
the lead
day.
in COVID cases.
Yep.
My state re-shut down after having opened up.
It's a lot.
I mean,
man.
Yeah, the
demise
whole
of Mixer.
Community. Yeah, Mixer's gone.
The demise of Mixer. And let me tell you, last week's Enough About You was with Z1, and we unpacked a lot of, hey, Mixer's not doing so well. I can't see it going along. It's been 3 or 4 years now. It's not really taken off. What's going on with it, etc. And then I mean 18 hours later, we get the announcement it's gone. Right? It's Monday. And Z1 messaged me, look, like the whole thing. So, man. All right. Well, where do you want to hit? I wrote a bunch of stuff down. I don't know. What do you want to hit first? I've got a lot to unpack on the subjects, so I can start my stuff. You did a great job. Let me just tell you. I don't wash your balls very much.
When you get a chance to.
Unless it's deserved. And your Thursday stream was great. I'll just say. Your
I'm
Thursday
surprised
stream,
I managed to stream that day, honestly.
Your Thursday stream was really good. That was pure unadulterated Badger. I think you were very, you had handled everything very fairly despite what you have been through. It was very fair-handed, granting both a reasoning behind all of how about this? An empathetic gesture to all those that have come out as you accused, and also an empathetic and encouraging note behind everybody else who have really experienced some of this sort of trauma, and encourage them to still continue to come out, which would admittedly have been very difficult for me, because I am Mr. Dismissal and all this sort of stuff. I was pretty proud of you for handling it so fair-handed, even when you did not have to, right? There was nothing. You were under no obligation to empathize with the false accusers, but you did a great job of at least kind of extending out, saying, hey, no ill will. Like they need some help.
People wanted me to. They wanted me to just be angry. There's so many people who wanted me to just be like the poster child for everybody's lying, and it's just not true.
Yep.
So I
thought you did a great job, but also being strong where you needed to be strong. Of no, this is not right. I've 100% been falsely accused here, and opening up. Here's basically my life, which is really what the call was, right? If you had gotten a chance to handle this in private, right, is say, hey, it's you and me and maybe an arbiter or something, settle this out because I'm thinking about going public. That is way better of a venue to settle it. As it is, the accusation basically forced your hand in terms of there was really no recourse. Okay, so staying silent would have been in the climate it is would have been completely damning and damaging, right?
Yeah.
Going going humbling and saying I'm sorry would have been equally damning, right? Because those who have either apologized or that sort of thing got just hammered, and everybody assumes the worst of wrongdoing, right? But you're only your own. This is why you're my buddy and my partner, is that you are reality on reality's terms. Like there was no alternative, right?
I knew the truth, so
you're right. There was absolutely no alternative than to unpack everything the way you did. And the best thing you said in your Thursday stream was, I was not really given a choice. And there's a little bit of backlash. I didn't see a ton of public backlash in terms of I had to uncork the raw truth about what happened with texts and pictures and Google movement and all that shit. Like I mean, there was really no recourse, and I think it was an 80, 20, 90, 10 of wow, Badger, I'm with you, right, was the 90%, right? And then there was 10% of oh my God, this guy's a psycho. He tracks everything.
I don't know what to say to I track everything. Yeah, I'm pretty meticulous, I suppose.
Hey, this is one case where freaking Big Brother, like, thank you. Yeah.
I've never been so appreciative of Google Timeline. It was just like before I was just like interested. Oh, how many miles did I walk?
Right. It was useful for your life of, okay, here's my sleep patterns, here's my movement. I made X amount of steps. I burned X amount of calories. Or the other one was, oh, cool, this was an interesting memory for me, right? My timeline was, oh yeah, I remember that time at PAX. That was really cool. I remember in San Antonio when we were going down the Riverwalk, me and Blake, or when I bashed the shit out of my shin in 2019 on that goddamn scooter.
Jeez, that scooter was instant.
Right, all those pictures, all that timeline. I mean, that's a really cool thing to do if you're cooling out one night, where you could just go out and unpack all that and just have a nice little memory. I would you and I have a couple of beers, hanging out and just kind of reliving some memories, or hey, remember this? Hey, that's cool, right? That's a nice use for it, right? As it turned out, it was kind of the rock of fact that you hang everything else on, right?
It was mandatory. I mean, it was
mandatory, right?
I feel like this whole instance has made me realize that I was naive to my position, and that I would never think that this could happen to me. Like, lies could be levied in such a way and be so powerful as well, and so potentially devastating. And the only reason they weren't so devastating is because I had this information, because I was able to collect it quite quickly and release it. And then I mean, the hardest part of this is I was given no choice, really.
Right.
I had to do these things, as much as it made me physically recoil to have to share these sentiments, these statements, these messages, and everything like that. I had to. Absolutely.
Had to. Yeah.
I mean, if I had, been like, oh,
you're gonna lose
your
channel.
Apologize. Right.
You're gonna lose your channel.
Sony have been banned already. Bless RNG is gone. I Am Spoon is gone. Warwars TV is gone. And there's obviously there's been bans with varying levels of very easy to say, yes, this was obvious proof. And always for me, it's been about the evidence that was submitted. Right. It was always about what was said and who said it, and what was shown to us.
Right. And this call to like believe everybody. I mean, it's hard to do that when your good buddy gets falsely accused. And
I wanted to dismiss Warwars TV.
One side has a ton of feelings, and the other side has a ton of fact. Right? I mean, I
still want to. I really do mean it when I want to go forward, and when I see an accusation, I want to look into it. I want to see what's going on. I want to read.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's your duty right now to get into these things, because I think it is a fact that most of the time we can't prove this stuff. Right? We can't prove what happens, but then we get instances like
right.
The guy at Twitch. Gosh, I keep forgetting his name. Starts with an H.
Oh, Hassan Bakari.
Hassan. Where Hassan is sending messages and he's like giving partnership benefits to people, and giving them
pre-partnership benefits, transcodes,
and then changing names and like doing all kinds of stuff that is straight up an abuse of power
Yeah.
that can't necessarily go to court, but we do need to see that because it's because what is the intention behind that, right? And
Also, not illegal, probably, right?
right, not illegal, right, but inappropriate, immoral, very likely.
Right, and probably inappropriate use of power. Probably, if I was at a company and I was doing something similar, right, I would be either disciplined or fired. Had I done something similar, it would not have been out of the. I mean, I'm probably it's within the scope of his job to do certain things and to make certain calls. Right, is to say, okay, here a perfect example is there's a charity that has just started. They're not part. It's a Red Cross or something. A charity has just started. The Red Cross, they want to do this benefit and they want to do it on Twitch. Let's make sure they have trans codes. Let's put them in the in crowd. Sure. Let's make sure they get their right name. Let's make a good event for this user, right? That is within his authority to say, we need trans codes for this user. We need the right name for this user, and we need the right hype for this user. Let's make sure that this user gets the right stuff that they need to make a great event for Twitch, right?
And he has that ability, has that strength, because he's given it as a position of leadership, and no one's going to necessarily question what's going on. You know, hundreds and hundreds of channels are getting this benefit, and then he's using it to hit on somebody.
Yeah, right.
So I mean, Hassan's example is like my primo example of where the Me Too movement really does have a place in our society right now because it was inappropriate. It was not okay.
It was inappropriate, right.
I mean, there's lots of other examples out there, tons. Like I've done
that's a pretty darn good one, right? That's a pretty darn good one where
but I don't know. It only took me reading that. It only took me looking at the pictures to being like, okay,
right? Oh yeah, for sure. The text, all that business. Wow, right? And it would be a long stretch to try and do some sort of criminal or civil case to put against him, but it's an easy slam dunk to have for something like that to happen. And for a company to make some decisions, right? Yeah. You know, make some quick decisions
because
and
the public
penalize
can see it as well, right? Like what, you know, maybe you asked what is Hassan's side of the story. I don't think it fucking matters. I don't care what Hassan has to say.
I mean,
like, I was just being nice to her. Well, you know, that was outside your bounds just to be nice to her. I mean, it didn't seem like you were just being. Can I meet you? You know, being the next conversation that you have with this person. Mm-hmm. Right. And then a step down from that, you know, maybe not abusing your position so much as some of the other people who have come out and, you know, can I see your nice? I really like looking at your. I mean, like just like off the wall, like cringe, disgusting. Who talks to another person that way kind of stuff? Like these guys have so little game that they're just.
That's right.
I mean, like Osmond Gold I'm just repeating basically what Osmond Gold said here, and like this is what he came out and said. It was like they are just like the scum of the absolute earth. The guys who come and talk to a girl that way, like I just don't understand. It doesn't connect with me. I don't know.
Right.
And then you know it works there too, right? It's just a super small amount of people who are taking this and they're like, I really would like a Twitter like. I would really like to get revenge on this person that I don't like. And, you know, it's some of it is not even, you know, relationship-wise. Some of it is like Twitter user doesn't like other Twitter user. I'll make a twit longer about how they mentally abused me. Yeah. And this movement was meant to be about protecting women from being taken advantage of, right? Not for airing your personal beef, which is... we're going to have to deal with the reality of that very well. Yeah. Keep your receipts.
I agree. Yeah, it's pretty nuts, man. It's, I mean, I guess that it's kind of similar for all movements start out with the most pure in mind, and at some point, right, co-opted by others who would either use it for selfish gain or use it for things that it was not intended to. Me Too movement is no exception. Like I remember when. You know, there was some fairly racist stuff going on that was co-opted in the Tea Party. The Tea Party started out with these, you know, if you remember back that far, it was like look, we want smaller government and we want, you know, there are these we want small governments, we want personal responsibility, we want personal rights, we want to Second Amendment. Like it was very pure in its starting, and then suddenly it got co-opted into something a little more rough. Me Too
And we
movement, I
s-
guess, is no
We're seeing this a
exception, right?
lot, right? We're seeing this with every
Yeah.
movement. We're seeing cherry picking in a lot of things. Like,
Yep.
it just happens constantly where the side that doesn't agree with what one movement is doing is going to find little tiny bits of it and then fight against it. And that's what I was talking about
Yep.
earlier when I was talking about how people wanted me to be the guy who's saying that everything is false and nothing is real and you shouldn't. Twitter is not the place for this. I just don't. I mean, being extremist on it, it's just never. I'm never going to be that way because I can see why this is a thing.
Right.
So I think it's to blanket label everybody off of a couple things that you've seen is just there's a reason for what's going on. Okay,
Right.
Keep your eyes
Right.
open. Keep listening. Don't
There's
don't block
there's a
something
reason.
out just
There's a
because.
reason because it is widespread, right? I mean, there's
Right. If there was
lots of cases.
a method of going about this that would was reasonable otherwise, I think people would be doing it. Right. If there was some recourse for them to take, they'd be taking it, but there isn't a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And this is why we're seeing the oppressed try to step out and fight and do what they can. And a lot of people, don't agree with it. Whatever, delete your Twitter, I guess.
Yep.
So such is life. And being in a very unique circumstance where businesses on the internet and personalities on the internet have to maintain a public image, and it's. I almost take solace. I very nearly take solace in the fact that Shane Dawson has been removed. He's getting finally maybe what he deserves for being a pedophile almost. I mean like being pedophilic at the very least. And then there's the flip coin for the female YouTuber who was removed for or gotten a lot of issues for things she did 8 years ago. And then Ice Poseidon is petitioning Twitch right now to come back on the platform.
I saw.
So like it's what is this dynamic of when do we forgive someone for the mistakes that they made in the past? Can we dredge up an 8-year video
right
about what they did, a joke they made, and is it not okay and acceptable? And it's such a multifaceted and
right.
There is no just answer. There's no plain. This is why it's
And you're exactly right. Those are two sides of the exact same coin, right? Is someone doing something 8 years ago and being a completely different person, and a video has surfaced. Like, okay, what is surface, right?
It's just been reshared kind of deal,
right. Right. And then the other side of that coin is this is someone who Ice got kicked off of the platform,
right? I mean, and then he admits
and,
it too,
and basically built a career out of some cracked up crap, all of it. It was,
I mean, that was his
show
intention.
it was an absolute train wreck the whole time, and he was pushing the boundary constantly, right? That's
Yep.
how he built his name on, right? And crossed the line several times, right?
On purpose,
on
as
purpose,
a methodology, he's crossing the line,
right? And has since, from all reports, if you read the reply to his video,
yeah,
lots of witnesses come forward,
he was on Mixer, yes, and
I've been on Mixer since I'm down. He has been straight and narrow, adhere to all terms of service. Like he has.
And I watched the video and I was like, bullshit. And then I read the replies and I was like,
me too.
Okay, wait a second.
I'll be darned. Right.
There's actually a lot of character witnesses here who are saying that he's actually a decent person. He's actually trying to turn his life around. And actually the way that he described it at the moment where he was like, I understand now why people don't have toxic communities. And I was like, okay, he actually came. All right, because he was saying how it reflected on his health and how he grew from that. And all right, Ice. I don't know. I'm not gonna say that Twitch should allow him back on or whatever. But this is what we wanted, right? We wanted people who make mistakes to grow from it. Okay, when giving someone a punishment, what's your intention behind the punishment? What is the actual end goal behind punishing a person?
Change behavior, right?
To change behavior, right? So writing a ticket. Right? What's the point of writing a ticket? Why is it when you get a speeding ticket, for example, you can take a defensive driving course and then have your ticket dismissed? This because the intention is to have you not speed so you don't hurt anybody. It's not to fine you. It's not to hurt you. It's just to make you get better at doing the thing that societal standards want you to do. So where do we want to go with this, right? Like, what do we want to do? Do we accept Ice Poseidon in now?
Right.
Do we crucify Jenna Marbles over videos that she had years and years ago?
Right, I agree, and without 8 years ago, if this video happens and it was, I mean,
and then
semi-offensive or times change in context at the time may not be in context now, right? And then times and vernacular changes and all of those sorts of things, and if this person is just with the times. Right, and with the times at the same time, and is like is some sort of entertainer or comedian, and Their job is to not cross the line, but push the envelope, right? And times
Comedians
change
do that
on this
all the
person in
time.
front of them. All
Specifically
the time,
pushing the envelope, right?
right? Yeah,
Uh,
right.
it's very tough.
It's tough. It's hard to make
not
a
cut and
judgment
dry.
call, right? Right.
Do we boycott Disney for movies they put way back on the day? Fenced and ass.
Right.
Because they had some racist stuff in there, man. They had
Yeah,
some
it
racist
was.
commentary. They have some sexist commentary. It's very set in its ways, those old fairy tales and things like that, where, there's some roles that are adhered to by men and women. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's...
How about the Popeye the Sailor Man of the dude that was chasing around olive oil? Basically
I thought it was who's Popeye's arch nemesis?
Bluto. Yeah.
Bluto. That guy, right?
Yeah,
that guy was
right.
Bluto couldn't take no for an answer. He was like, Bowser also is kidnapping the princess, right? He doesn't care.
Freaking gone. All right. I mean, there's no way any sort of cartoon would be there. And
he's a villain, so
even Pepe Le Pew, the little skunk that hopped around.
Oh yeah, Pepe Le Pew, man. Woo, boy, he could not. he could get hit, man. It's just it's guys on the internet these days that just say whatever they want.
That's exactly right. I mean, yeah. But in context,
it's pretty bad.
It's hard.
It's like 12 years ago.
It's hard to. It's hard to sit there and say, oh yeah. At the same time, Jenna Marbles should be punished, but Ice Poseidon should be let back on. I mean, okay, well, what is the point of redemption, and what is the point of time has changed? And
there is no court for this, right?
There's no court for this, right?
So, and maybe the thing about this is that, what is the benefit of walking away if you do something wrong?
Right.
What is the downside?
Right.
What is the downside of doing something wrong? Is there a downside? Because I tell you what, I haven't heard about Shane Dawson in a freaking long time. Okay, and I'm only hearing about him now because of this apology video he's making. And I tell you what, that the statistics on that apology video and the stuff that he makes in the future will be extreme. It'll be extraordinary. Creators benefit off of this stuff very often. We always talk about how all publicity is good publicity, and really in the long run, having your name out there, even if it has a slight negative connotation, people want to see what you have to say. So what is the real punishment that's happening because of these things? Some people are losing their jobs, and they deserve to do so. But will Shane actually be punished? Maybe he'll lose some sponsorships in the now, but will he do later? Is Jenna really just like, man, I wanted the vacation anyway? So she's making this video to apologize, to take her vacation, and then she's going to come back. And people are like, oh, I'm so glad you're back. And, since you apologized, just kind of, not even necessarily. I apologized for my action previously. I'm a different person now. I'm going to take a break. Right. Well, what was the intention even behind the cancellation of said person?
Yeah, I'd heard that theory as well. Of she just wanted out, and
I just wanted a break. Like I don't want to respond to YouTube comments for 6 months, and then when I come back in 6 months, my stats will have a big bump anyway because it's a return.
Yeah, we'll do a triumphant return. I got some good money right now. Let's go do a thing. Right, let's go chill out.
To your point at the very start, the people who were accused of things and simply backed down and said, "Okay, I did this. Sorry," or maybe not even. Some of them didn't say sorry. Frankly, like say no to rage. He didn't really say sorry. He kind of danced around.
It's basically a no contest plea.
Yeah, something like that, which was really kind of gross.
If it happened, it happened. I don't know.
It was a bit weird. And then he deleted that video, and he did another video. Yeah, I don't know. It was there's a lot there. Like, and then so what was it?
That's a no contest plea, right?
He's just like, I don't care, or he just had nothing to say. Sort of. There's been a lot of that about a lot of rambling kind of things. So and the people who have been punished, they could very likely make a return, right? And will they change their habits? Will they get better at the things that they're doing? I'm not sure. Like, this is why we want to bring this stuff to court. This is why we want to have paperwork on this, because the next time we can up the punishment, actually have a punishment, and this can be a thing.
Right. Yeah, it's rough. I'll tell you a story. So let's tee off into that one about. I'll tell you a story about. Guess this was back when I was using Facebook, and that's been a while. It's been a long while since I've even cracked open Facebook. So before all of it came out about Bill Cosby. Okay,
Bill's a great example.
It's a fantastic example. Before all of it came out, probably 9, maybe 6 months before it all shook out, nobody. I mean, nobody knew. I mean, there were some people who knew, and there were always some rumblings of he's not, this bad guy, whatever, right? But the vast majority of everybody thought of, okay, comedian, great comedian, long time, America's dad type of thing.
Kind of kid
right?
show oriented.
Kid show, lots of a body of work that really was fairly bulletproof, right? Starting off his early career with a couple of albums. Fat Albert was his first one of the first ones on TV. Which
hey,
right, right. He had all the voices. He did all the voice acting. He did the biggest one he did was called Bill Cosby Himself. Was one of the biggest hits on planet Earth because it was one of the first times that cable. It coincided with cable, and everybody around who had cable saw it because it went out on, I think, Showtime or HBO or one of those. And and then he had the Cosby Show, which was one of the most popular television series in history.
I remember teaching lots of life lessons for
life lessons,
adults and
like
kids.
It was always, and he would clown himself more than anybody else. The wife in that show was never the butt of the joke. It was always him, right? He had her as like the queen of the castle, and like they had this relationship, and he would way more, the writing was such that he would way more clown himself than anybody else, right? Anyway, about 6 months before all this shook out, he was doing a tour of a bunch of cities in the U.S. And I got wind of it, and I thought, I've never seen Bill Cosby perform. So I paid a couple $120 something a ticket to go and see him. This is before anything, right? Nobody knew shit. Nobody knew shit, right? And I went and saw him. I laughed my ass off. It was great. His storytelling was so incredible, right? It was incredible. And I left that show going, God dang, I just saw one of the masters of comedy and one of the masters of storytelling. This was freaking great. And so I made this Facebook post back in whatever. That was like, man, I just saw, this was one of the highlights of my life, right? Because I'm appreciative of comedy. I'm appreciative of storytelling. I'm appreciative of just someone getting up there and doing some entertainment, and not a single swear word, like almost in his entire career. Like anything he would do is damn it. It was about, because he called his brother damn it. He didn't know, he thought his brother's name was damn it because his dad always called his brother damn it. Damn it, get in here, right? So that's about as dirty as he would ever work. So I made this glowing Facebook post about, goddamn, I just saw one of the masters of our time. Like,
it didn't age well, did it? That's what.
And sure enough, like 6 months later, Olympus has fallen, right? It was all this shit woke out about how the devious court cases and allegations and freaking drugging people and such narcissism, all that corked out. And I just went, and so my thought was, God damn, that's a little heartbroken, a little bit, right?
You would be, yeah. I mean, obviously, you look up to him. Right. I think we've felt that heartbreak again just recently.
And fast forward to this week, where we had one of our mutual heroes, where even there is hours of footage on this show of us talking about what a rule breaker, what he's got, the special sauce of exactly what he needs to do, tuned that in, super high engagement, one of the greatest entertainers we've ever seen. And, and it all goes away. I mean, and I just went, God dang it, And here's what I want to tell you. I know you're probably taking it a little harder than I am, because you're pretty pissed about it, right?
I'm furious. I'm absolutely.
Furious. I mean,
I sent people over to that channel
100%,
so many times. Just the fact that we said go watch Woolrich, right. Go emulate the person that Woolrich is, because we held him in such high esteem.
Yeah.
makes me reflect on, did you send someone over there that Warwitch took advantage of? Will that weigh on your soul and conscience for the rest of your life?
I mean,
Might do
but here's
mine.
the thing: is there's no way to know. Okay, here's the thing: anyone you host and anyone you back right now could be doing it right now. Still, right?
Yeah, we don't know.
You don't know.
We have absolutely no way of knowing.
There's no idea, right? Someone could be doing it right now. So here's what I'm telling you, man, is that you need to kind of give yourself a break on.
I think that's the wrong take. Okay,
Well,
I think right this second, giving yourself a break. I see why you want to feel that way. Maybe give yourself a break down the line. Maybe think to yourself,
Right.
what could I have done better? How could I have improved?
Yes. How could I have seen the signs? Could I have doing? Could I have?
You're going over things right now. I know it hurts, but
Right.
I have barely watched Warwitch. I have watched him. I mean, I think I've talked about Warwitch more than I've watched Warwitch. I think Blake has watched a lot of Warwitch.
It was my first sub ever on Twitch, and I was on 46 months in a row.
Oh, I've had 2 months of being subscribed to him, I'm pretty sure. So I assume that you would be rolling over, burning on the agony that you feel this being in front of this guy. I find there is very few crimes. We talked about forgiveness a little while ago. I find it unforgivable. Absolutely, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was doing it on purpose.
Yeah. That's not. I got caught up. That's not. I just got caught up in the moment. That's planned and that sort of stuff. There was a pattern there. And I don't know. And you remember there was a dust up about a year and a half ago about something similar, right? Do you remember this? So somebody, yeah, it's about a year and a half ago. So somebody came out and said Warwitch took advantage of me. It was an adult, and
okay,
remember?
No, I actually don't remember this.
Okay,
he only found out after,
and he replies and lays it all out there, and he says, absolutely, no. But he says, here's the thing: nothing was done that wasn't consented to. I'm a giant flirt, and I
didn't know this until
this was a year and a half ago. So there was one person that came out and did a twit longer, something like that, and said, hey, this guy, and it was not an underage type. It wasn't. There was not. It was just someone took advantage of me or whatever, and it was some sort of. I sent him some dirty, naughty pictures, and he took advantage of me to get them, and now it sounded a lot like I regret what I sent him because now I don't get anyway. It sounded like more of regret than anything else. And Warwitch came out and said, absolutely, I did this thing. I admitted and said,
so I read this one at first.
I'm a giant flirt. And it wasn't this week. It was like a year and a half ago.
Right. So it came up again, and then the second thing came out.
Well,
what ended up happening, I believe.
Well, yeah, okay. So a year and a half ago, it came out, and he says, "I'm just a big flirt. There was no assault. I'm just it was never anything, never intended to do harm." And he also said. My wife knew 100% what was going on because she and I like to flirt together, and it's a thing that we're kind of into. She likes the female form, so do I, and we kind of do this thing. She's in full disclosure, and he laid it all out there and said, nobody was harmed in this. I apologize if that's what you felt, but this was all above board. And basically, it was hundreds of replies of I'm with you, Warwitch, thank you for telling everybody, we're all good. And it was basically a flirty type of thing and just two consenting adults, and then it smoothed over.
Right, I could see that. And he continues his career. It wasn't a big deal. I didn't even hear about this, in fact.
Right.
So obviously there's a big difference there between what came out recently, because there was, I'm in high school, right? It was one of the texts.
Apparently whatever that started was back then, it just kept going to its logical conclusion.
I suppose. I mean, I
don't know.
I think there's when a girl's 15 and you start talking to her, and then you wait 2 years until she's 17, you're like, oh, this is fine now. and you're a 32, 33-year-old man, I think that there's a bit of a problem. Like, what is the intention there?
What you trying to do, playa? So,
And
I think the previous one was like 25, 24, something like that. It was,
and he was younger then. I think it was like a year ago. So
it was like 2 years ago. So it was foreseeable or something.
See, is he that old? See, I don't know how old he is. I know he's an older gentleman. He's not, he's not a young man. He certainly shouldn't be talking to 17-year-olds. I think everyone's got different age requirements, but even 25 is a little bit of a big gap for a 40-year-old. You know,
I don't even know. I barely even know how 29? to talk to someone who's 20.
Like, why would you want to though?
What do they want
like, gross. What are they? There's like TikTok and shit. Like, what the?
Are we gonna have a deep conversation about the geopolitical scape right now? I don't know. Sorry if everybody's 20.
Tell me about your life experiences. Oh, I just broke up with my first boyfriend. Okay, well, I think it's wrong. It's inherently wrong.
Hey man,
it's not the year 700. It's not the year 1700. Right. There's a lot of things that we have learned.
Right. Feel free to be upset about it. Feel free to be sad about it. But I want to give you a break that there's no way to know. And here's the thing, and the reason why I want you to give yourself a break on it is because it could be happening right now to anybody we prop up. Because
speaking of not knowing what's happening with someone, Dr. Disrespect.
Humans are fallible. I'm just saying, humans are fallible. Power corrupts absolutely. Who's to say if anyone gets power like you have, whether it's Hassan or whether it's Warwitch or whether it's a platform, they get a little big for their britches, right? And
he turned 50 this year. Fence chat says I don't know, not sure.
I don't know, man. Yeah. I don't even know. Entrapment is still you had to put your hand in the trap, and you kind of knowingly put your hand in the trap. You know
him in high school, right?
You know him in high school, right? Question mark. It was a thing.
You're playing with your little teen.
Yeah, blankety blank. Yeah.
I don't think there's anything around that.
That's not a trap. That's not a trap.
That's pretty clear cut.
He walked right into it. So.
If he did get trapped, he deserved it because he's an idiot.
Also, right. Also, the other thing is his Twitter's gone. His wife's Twitter's
Is it gone? Is it gone now? It was unlisted at one point.
You can't go see it anymore. It's gone. Everything's gone.
Well, they
both had Twitch careers.
Did they?
And
she streamed also.
She streamed also. I think she had an OnlyFans type of thing where there was some whatever she tweeted about that, because I was following that family, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you were more involved than me, and it pains me. So I feel like you were in shock when all this started.
It's like what?
I feel like you.
The first one came out and it was he's flirting. He just got caught flirting again, and there was some bad feelings. And then the next one was, holy shit! Like, you're screwed.
My jaw dropped.
So screwed.
Like I was shocked, surprised, and then I was just angry.
Pissed. Right. But up to the point of I am 15, it's out. You're out, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
God damn it. But here's the thing: is that I don't necessarily feel okay. So shocked, angry, all that other good stuff. Guilt's not something I'm ready to let myself go down, because I didn't do this; he did, right? Yeah. And
I feel a level of responsibility. I mean,
right
to protect the people who need it. And I understand I can't protect everybody. This is the problem for me. But that's where that feeling comes from, where I should have.
And can I just camp out on that for a minute? And that sort of protection type of thing is what has run through your entire life, and is actually a fairly central point in the arguments that have arisen this week. Let me just close your mouth for a second. This guy right here is a protector. And I will tell him he's protected. He's been protective of me and our space and our equipment and our surroundings. We did the sills, right?
Glad you remember
we did the sills. And he is above all else, he is not an attacker. He is a protector. And whether it's someone from being vulnerable to drinks being out, which until you said, and at many of those parties, right? Until you said something the first time, I would have never thought about it. And you went, look at all these open drinks out here where anybody could just kapook, and someone is now just pow, right? And someone is now, and at
Possibly
the time
dead.
of that third dumbass accusation of I got in an argument with somebody and I'm using this to take down, and right, that's that one of all of the ones, that was the one I started eye rolling immediately at, like, oh my god, you oh god. If you had five average viewers, this would never come up, right?
It would not. It
would not.
Definitely would. You know what?
It would not.
I would say, and maybe this is wrong for me to say,
And
but I would say
the
if I
fact
hadn't had the year that I had this year, this also
Right.
wouldn't be an issue.
Right.
If this was last year, it wouldn't be an issue.
It wouldn't be right. Yes, I agree.
Envy is
I agree.
absolutely
I agree.
palatable.
It's palatable, yeah. And the fact that I remember looking at that open table of, I think it was the TwitchCon partner party, the open one where I first looked at that.
They were pouring out drinks and putting on the table, pouring out drinks, putting on the table. And
There
like,
was
this is this.
It was one of those just giant 4x8 folding tables with no room for anything other than plastic cups with beer in it.
Yep.
And I looked at it and I was just like, okay, a bunch of beer. And you went, what are you doing? And you just about lost your goddamn mind, right? This is so, and you're like, Blake, this is so dangerous. And I'm going, yeah, it could tip over at any minute. You're like, no.
Yeah, I think he literally said that to me. You're like, yeah, it could spill.
I said, what are you bet? Is it going to tip over? And you're like, no, I could do the plumbing. And I went, oh my God, you're right. Like I had no thoughts about any of that. It was so far beyond my, oh my God, did people do that? Yeah.
Randomly too. They just put it in drinks and watch.
And that is what that person just chose to argue with you about? What?
People don't care, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah,
they would rather just push it. It's a guy, and it didn't affect him effectively.
It did not. It did not affect personally.
Everyone else's safety affects me because just like with going on with the War Witch, I feel a personal responsibility for it.
Right. That is, by the way, that is a theme that runs through this dude's life. Is I'm here to protect everybody. I want everybody to be safe. That's it. I don't know. So, and here's the thing. One other thing I thought about is that there's lots of stuff on Twitter about Twitch needs to make it a safe place for us to broadcast and all that business. Like they need to ban racial usernames. Okay, all that other business. The reality is, man, there's really no safe spaces. All we got is each other to protect each other. That's it.
We can do
all we got
things.
is our communities, right?
Like Halo, or the org has been working on, banning certain things and doing the best they can.
But they're going to do their best they can. But they're not. There's no place that is 100% safe.
Right. There should be some imperative for us all to be able to do things. And maybe the thing is that our reports need to be listened to and paid attention to much quicker than they are here on Twitch. Now, I have one big, massive issue with the thing you just brought up, the emotes and the names and stuff like that. If we start removing names of dark-skinned people, I will fucking lose my mind. I swear to God. There is not enough already. If you start removing the good ones, I'm going to get pissed.
Yeah.
Why? Why disenfranchise them more?
Yeah, I agree.
I don't get it. Please do not do that. Like, don't say that just because an emote has dark skin that it is racist. Isn't that inherently racist?
Yeah, it is.
I hope they don't start removing emotes. Like, that would be the most wild nonsense that they could possibly do.
One of the pride emotes, right? There's a half heart on this side and a half heart on this side. One skin is lighter and one skin is darker. Is that?
Please don't remove that.
What?
I'm begging you.
Leave it alone. My God, it's a love heart. God damn it! It's
people
love.
have dark
It's
skin.
That one, right?
It's a thing.
It's a thing. It happens. Right?
And I think the issue is that racist people here on Twitch have co-opted those emotes to be racist with.
Yes,
that does not make the symbol itself a symbol of racism. So it cannot be removed.
Yeah, that's what we got to be careful of, is co-opting a very pure motive, an effort of pure motive getting co-opted by someone who is using it to do something different. I mean, that's same with all of these things that we're talking about today, right? is it's nuts, man. We should just be very careful when we start going down that road, because it's the same side of the coin as banning a book that would really put you in an uncomfortable place about, it's like To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yep.
That was really one of the first books I ever read that kind of put me face to face of, hey man, there was a time, or there are times. I mean, imagine back in the 40s. I mean, 30s and 40s, how tough it was to be a black person, right? And and even the movie saying, like, Gregory Peck having to defend a person and having to use the law, a court of law, to defend a person, and being up against all of the stuff that he's up against. And there's some pretty racist stuff in racist racial terms and all that sort of stuff in To Kill a Mockingbird. But the point of it is to unpack all of that, put the reader in an uncomfortable position, and actually let the reader step on the other side and understand what it's like to be in those shoes of being falsely accused and having the system against you. And it's done through the eyes of a kid, right? Scout is basically the main character, and Scout is named aptly Scout. She's scouting out what is going on, and everything is new that she's learning. She's learning about Boo Radley and what he's all up to about. He's learning about his dad, Atticus Finch, and she's learning about the defendant who busted up a chifforobe at the behest of a white woman, and now he's falsely accused of assault and all sort of stuff. And she's unpacking this, and it's putting the reader in an uncomfortable position to just learn, as Scout learns, what a trial would probably look like in the South for a big, strong black man, right, who was falsely accused.
That uncomfortableness is something that you should pursue. You need to. And
by the way, the reason
don't shy away from it.
Reason I remember so many details is because it hit me, right? That it put me in an uncomfortable position, and I went, "Holy crap! Is this really what's going on in the world?" And then from there on, you go forward with an awareness that you didn't have, and you go forward with okay, we need to make double sure that we have good witnesses, because the lady who was in there, those are the name I don't remember. The lady who falsely accused.
I'm surprised you remember so many names from it. It's been such a long time.
Falsely accused the guy. She was a horrible witness. She was a false accuser, and she was just looking to stir up some drama, right? And the guy who was busting up the chifforobe, he didn't even have 500 average viewers. Like, he didn't have any of that stuff, right?
Thanks for putting me in that spot. I see where you're going with this.
I'll tell you another story. I'll tell you a quick other story. So we need. My point is, we need to be careful about what we ban and why, is because there is a point, a book or a movie or whatever that depicts racism is not glorifying it necessarily. It's actually exposing it and saying this is a thing.
That book has been banned previously.
This is a reality in our time, and it was reality back in this time, and it was exposed because it is poignant, and it puts the reader in an uncomfortable position to really deal with whatever they got in their head about racism. Like, this is a thing, right? I just need to be careful about that, right? Anyway, I carry that book with me. I don't have the book anymore, but I carry that with me. I know exactly. Right. I remember that so well is because in my little kid world, I went, holy crap, this world was cracked out right beforehand. We were putting people in jail just because of their skin color. Were you crazy? Not because of anything they did. It was because of their skin color. It was crazy, right?
It was acceptable to do so.
It is acceptable to do so, right? So,
I mean, we do this anyway, right? We're still persecuting people who are different.
Exactly.
If they're different, it's worthwhile that they're bad, basically.
Right. And and basically the hero of the story is Atticus Finch, who actually says, all right, well, I'm going to take this case, and goes against the grain. And actually the town kind of turns on him for taking the case of a black man and defending him. And also his safety is put in jeopardy. And he is a pretty smart lawyer, and he's got an uphill battle for it. Go read To Kill a Mockingbird before it goes away. Shoot. It's great.
And this uncomfortableness is what's happening right now too.
And
It's-
uncomfortableness and by the way, uncomfortableness is probably where you need to be if you're going to deal with some of this stuff, right? If you're going to internalize this.
if you're shying away from it, you're doing the wrong thing.
Right.
You need to be willing to. I would suggest that you look at sides of things, specifically follow and read things from people that you do not agree with. And try to do so with an open mind. If
Yeah.
you begin doing that, you can start changing and growing as a person. There's a lot of people who have changed, and that change is what we want. Is why this culture of, hey, you can't do these things is out, and we want you to fix. I mean, we can only hope that the people who've gotten repercussions recently will change who they are and become better, and seek out help. Really.
Yep. So I actually did I had a conundrum of myself this week, and I had some people on Twitter that I follow that were it was fairly blatant that it's fairly false, and it's just stirring up drama. There's nothing to their arguments, and in fact, they're fairly hateful with their comments. And I thought, I'm going to unfollow this person. And then right as I had hovered my hand over the unfollow button, I went, you know what? Maybe not. Because, you need to, because of exactly that. And because it's like, look, two things. One, you need to have some viewpoints. You need a media diet or social diet of people you disagree with, for sure. Otherwise, you're not listening. You're not listening to anyone, which is one of the things that's got us in this mess here.
Yes.
Is Twitter is both glorious and horrible at the same time. Is because you can follow and unfollow. And I've got a couple Twitter accounts, and I told you this beforehand. When on the 31st, when George Floyd and all of that sort of stuff erupted, these two Twitter accounts, Badger, you would be absolutely floored that two completely different things are going on in our nation right now. And it was based on just two different who's talking, right?
Whose agenda is what it
one
really
of them
is.
One of them is my streamer one, which you guys ! Twitter. The other one is I just kind of I follow more business type of folks and a couple of political things to see, a couple of media outlets to see what's going on in the world, maybe make some stock type of stuff. And you would be floored that the differences in your perception. And if you were one person and if you didn't specifically purposefully go seek out different viewpoints, you would be locked into your one channel and go, holy crap, the system is collapsing, or holy crap, they're all going to come and get us, right? Or holy crap, holy crap, there's
I'm sure there's a million different sides as well, like 100, and it depends on this microcosm that you subscribe to,
right?
If you're doing,
and that's a great point. Is Don, is Twitter makes you feel like the majority agrees with you, whatever you think, and that is
which can be validating
poisonous
and terrifying.
That is poisonous to your mind, right?
But everybody agrees with me on this, so therefore,
everybody, right? Everybody,
quote unquote.
Right. It's poison. You need and here's the thing: is as much as we'll sit here and preach of, hey, you need a healthy media diet. Where do you go, right? Who is unpacking everything fairly and justly these days? What kind of journalistic outlet is not chasing the clicks to stay alive?
10 years ago, I would have said that YouTubers are the only organization doing this. These individuals who are coming out and saying things, they're the only people who are just saying their take, not even looking for clicks. And now I don't even believe that anymore.
I don't even believe that anymore, right?
Now I don't know who. I don't know who is being honest.
Here's the reality: is if you're chasing the clicks, you're not really doing journalism. You're forced not to do integrity journalism, almost forced, right? Or you're not going to survive. If this is the one thing that you do, it's hard to survive doing high integrity journalism because you need those clicks to live.
The extremist side of things is increased over time. where people have gone from being very centered to being pushed to these edges and then in
Yep.
these little slots where they just can't find themselves getting out of, and people transition between these things, and no one's really, looking at everything. It's, it's impossible to look at everything. It just is.
Right.
It's impossible to get every side of the story.
It's hard. So, by the way, what we did unpack Dr. Disrespect on my channel.
Did you? There's not
Yes,
too much to talk about per se, Dr. D.
I think I know why he was off Twitch. You ready?
All
right, why Twitch banned him
okay.
is that evidence came out. This is behind the scenes. Evidence came out with all of this movement that he was not, in fact, an actual doctor.
See, this is where I'm at too. I'm almost positive he's an actual doctor. He does have DR in his name, so I think there is
And
a
once
legal
they found that
obligation.
out, over.
He's toast. It's done.
Career over.
He did submit to them a PhD. I know that. We've confirmed that from our sources. But I think that the watermark on the PhD came back as Bandicam, pretty sure, for some reason.
Bandicam.
Was that
Those guys.
Rip. Who knows what's going on with freaking the doc, dog? So there's so many conspiracy theories out there for Doc. Like there is their own streaming service that was being negotiated on.
Right. There's and there are two announced this week.
Yeah,
two streaming service have been announced,
which are stupid as hell. I can't imagine what they possibly think they can bring to the scene to get started in this at this late juncture. Can you name me a YouTube competitor?
Right.
I can name one.
Right.
The Chinese one, Bibly, and that's it. That's available in China. If
Vimeo?
Mixer can't make it and YouTube is struggling in second, you think that you're no-name startup?
And freaking Microsoft money.
And Microsoft money was like, maybe this is not a good idea. Actually, maybe we're losing on this.
Maybe
because
we're
they're competing
losing on
with
this.
Google and Amazon. This is a three-way bout, and Mixer's a little bad.
There are big boys in that pool, right?
So whatever these new streaming services think they're going to start, like, I have this innovative new idea. I swear to God, guys, the moment that you release this really good idea that you have, let's say you do have one, Twitch is just going to take it. What's stopping them? You don't have a patent on this.
Okay, here's the thing: is that Z1 and I had a great conversation about this, and we said that whatever Twitch is doing today, YouTube could do and implement tomorrow. Emotes,
they have them.
The raids, the tiers, like
all
of those things, the watch parties, deals, all of that sort of stuff. And it's weird that YouTube hasn't necessarily pulled the trigger and tried to absolutely kill Twitch. Hasn't gone for the jugular, right?
Google's very methodical.
It's methodical. They are 100% long game.
They really are.
They don't do anything for the right now. They do it's always for the long game, and they've got the cash to take them into the long game. But here's the thing: so Twitch has actually gone after YouTubers, right? Nelos and all those guys that they went. Twitch recruited from YouTubers, right? They said, okay, for Nelos's story was they looked at, okay, I want someone who is a Denmark YouTuber, and they just looked at subscribers on YouTube, and they said, okay, who will take a meeting with us? And they just went down the viewers, and they said, this guy took a meeting, and they recruited him. They just said, okay, I want a bigger Denmark presence, and that's what they did. That was the partner manager from Denmark.
And that's not so. There's that very specific thing, but I still feel the affiliate contract was a directed attack to prevent YouTube from being able to hold on to the audience.
Right. It was the multi-stream would have. It was a really big deal. It really was. Right.
And it's been kind of circumvented by that. And you know, there's still Restream still exists. So Restream is still going strong because it was an effective platform.
Yep. It was. You can do that. You can still do that thing. You can multi-stream to DLive. YouTube, Trovo is still lets you. It was the newest one this week, and Facebook. You can still do all four of those. You just can't with Twitch, right? You can still. As
long as you don't as long as you don't have the affiliate contract, you can do Twitch still. To be clear.
Right. Yes.
But if you're an affiliate, you can't. But you can monetize on all those platforms, and they don't care.
You monetize them, yeah.
Right.
Sure
so
can.
That's what Twitch wants to try to strangle out the other platforms, because when you think of gaming live streaming, when you think of live streaming, really, besides with for pornography, you think of Twitch. So it makes sense for them to kind of do that kind of deal.
Right.
And I mean, Twitch is fighting. You know,
They're
Twitch
fighting.
has its
They're
problems.
It
but they
doesn't
are
seem.
definitely-
It doesn't seem like YouTube is. Right. Whatever YouTube's is, they're not scrapping like Twitch is. They're not. They're
Really
not
not.
edging that market.
I think they have a smaller team, or they have a team that's kind of just like looking, what is Twitch doing right now? And they're kind of like, you know, maybe let's see
Right.
what we're going to implement. But then they also have a lot of focus on still improving their VOD content and
Yep.
searchability, because they've always been focused on that, you know, that searchability. And I don't know if you saw this before, but YouTube automatically categorizes videos based on the race of the individuals in the video, the skin color of the individuals in the video now. It's automatically tagging it in that way. I mean, and that's how in depth, you know, we talk about racist AI we've seen it a lot, right? So I don't think Twitch has that.
Well-
is a good example.
Well, that's a good way to combat racism: is divide everybody up by
Everybody in
race
the categories, right? It's not the best. It doesn't look the best, does it? Does it? Maybe.
And nothing
maybe-
says unity like everybody from this skin color get over here, and everybody from this
You're
skin color get over here.
categorized.
Nothing
Yeah.
really drives unity home. Nothing really brings the
It's
world
strange
together.
that Google, quite a progressive organization, is getting AI to do that. I mean, you can
Oh,
look at
my
the statistics,
goodness.
whatever. Like it doesn't matter, but it kind of does matter.
My
Yeah.
goodness. Oh my
So
goodness.
I still think there's quite a bit of a leeway on there on Google for being the number one search engine, being the number one repository of information for the human existence.
It is
on YouTube,
It's-
right?
Yeah, it's great. It's the number one. I guess search, not just search engine. How did Mojo put it? He said it's the number one way discovery engine
Right. To find
ever on
anything
planet
new.
Earth. Ever
Right.
on planet Earth. Yeah.
So, I still think YouTube. This is why YouTube is still in the running, because they aren't
Right.
they're not putting all their money on this service. Like, you know, Mixer was
Right.
this thing. It's YouTube live streaming. We're YouTube, and we have a live streaming component. Yeah.
We have live streaming. You can do that. We're seeing
And
where
we're
that
number two in the
goes, and we're
space.
following the analytics. We're doing the
Right.
thing.
You know, we're gonna do what we need to do.
And to be fair, they are growing. 100%.
They are.
They're growing.
They're growing exponentially compared to Twitch, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. Remember, our stats were on the first 3 years of YouTube. First three years on YouTube live streaming. Year one was 18-1. 18 Twitch streamers for one YouTuber. Right.
Right.
Year two was 6-1. YouTube closed the gap. 6-1. Six live streamers on Twitch to one on YouTube. And year three, 2-1. So the gap is
It's
closed.
scary. It's
scary.
yeah, it's there for sure. There's going to be, and it's a good thing for all streamers, honestly, to have that ability to flip flop. This is why I have maintained my YouTube channel, and I will never stop.
100%. 100%.
I
agree.
have, you know, with the things going on Twitch, I've even had more and more been like, I really needed to diversify. I need to do some more things to not be so focused on the 50K followers I have on Twitch. I want to do more stuff.
Yep. And this week, this week should kind of show you how vulnerable everyone's channel is and everyone's livelihood on this platform, right? Not
I've
only
learned a lot.
not only right, because I mean, you're in your head, you were probably having the 1,000-yard stare, going, my channel's going to be gone.
I was blindsided by this.
You know.
I certainly did not see any of this nonsense coming. Really, I did.
Yeah, right. And then also in that regard is, it could just, I mean, what Amazon could do, just shut it all down.
They could, yeah.
Right?
I mean, if they decided,
Microsoft just
they're
went,
like, dang it, you know what?
we don't like,
Google's
you know what?
beating us.
You know,
Whatever. We'll just cut our
Whatever.
losses here. It's not NBD.
yeah, no big deal. We got something. I don't know.
But yeah, think of all the Mixer people who have dedicated their lives, you know, the past 4 years. I think Mixer's been
Yep.
around. They've been like really on it. This Mixer's been their thing, and then they find out that Mixer shut down because of a tweet.
Yes, they got fired over a tweet. Right,
Bruh, are you kidding
Bro.
me?
No warning.
So my insider information
warned
here,
me,
by the way.
they warned me at the same time as
Yeah.
the highest, as the best Mixer partners.
And their employees too. So
Yeah.
the people who
Well-
worked at the Mixer org got the same news at the same time. Like, so I, a Twitch partner, received the same news as the programmer who was working on the code that day at
Yep.
the office. Got home,
Yeah,
now realizes
exactly.
he has no job while coronavirus is still out.
Right. A mixer staffer got told the same time as me.
And that's via my sources, by the way, that was the case. Okay.
Yeah.
So I know that they did not get a warning.
Yeah. Also, I mean, you think about think about the difference between at PAX South and East. They had a giant booth.
A giant booth, dog.
Giant freaking booth.
Huge.
And they had headliners. Like between 4 p.m. and 6 p.m.
People coming on, people doing
Dr.
like
Doofenshmirtz, mixer partner, is going to be at this booth.
Come check him out. You want to see him.
Line starts here for ask him questions and take a selfie. Like, it's a line. It was a headliner, right?
Yeah, and now it will never exist ever again.
All gone. That was March 1st.
Well, I can't. We were there. I mean, it's like
we were there.
I mean, us being there and saying, "Man, I really wish Twitch had a booth." Well,
Man,
I'm fucking glad Twitch didn't, because it didn't shut down. All right, if that was the difference, if we were like picking things here.
Right. We were looking at that booth, going, "Dang, I wish
Twitch had a booth."
It would take for Twitch to be up there. I'd sit at that booth and answer questions. Shoot it.
Nah, you can keep your booth.
Mr. freaking AGDQ here should sit at the booth. You know,
you can keep your booth any day. All right, save the money. Freaking hire more people to handle reports.
I don't know what Twitch's P&L sheet looks like. Right, they are money focused. I don't know how much they lose/gain, they spend versus they come in. But all the staffers that I talked to at East this time were pretty money focused. And everything talked about revenue and like watch party revenue, even something like that. Watch party revenue, ad revenue.
This is very trickle down from Amazon,
subscribers.
I would say. And Microsoft is not very revenue focused, I would say. A lot of times they're like technology focused.
They are. Okay, so I'll tell you, Microsoft wants to get you. I'm going to hold my hand up in a certain way. Microsoft wants to get you by the data.
He's cupping your.
I'm cupping my hand.
Your family jewels with his hand.
With the data, they want to get you by the data. That's what all of Azure is, and all of Microsoft Azure and all of their storage, all that sort of thing. They want you to host with them, and then by the way, with your data, you can do all kinds of cool stuff. And then what they want to do is based on your data, they want to sell you microservices, 1/10 of a cent for every time you call this action, right? So, for example, one of the coolest ones I heard about at a seminar I went to last year. Remember last year when we could go places together with like 10,000 other people?
Dude, I do not remember. What was that like again?
What was that like? Remember
having a plan to see another human being?
We could be, and we could
Americans right now are
be in a
social
hotel
pariahs.
room, and then we could walk to a convention center. A convention, remember that?
We can't go to other countries. We're just about to get banned from going to EU. Americans, Russians, and Brazilians, we're not going to be allowed to travel to EU right now. Like, this is the world we live in, where...
Right. Remember we could go places and we could be together?
Previously, it was like, oh yeah, you're American, you're in here. No worries, NVD.
There was the application was a construction site in downtown metropolis. I think it might have been New York or Boston, somewhere. But they had all these cameras that were looking at the construction site, and it was like 30 FPS or something. It was a lot. It was real-time video. And they weren't just. It might have been like every couple seconds they were taking high-res cameras, right? And all of these images from these cameras were getting fed into an AI object recognition bot and a human recognition bot. Okay. And the reason why, and every time that's called, it wanted the use case was, I want to know when there's a jackhammer on the ground and a human that is not 6 feet within 6 feet of it, because that's an OSHA violation to have one just laying around and not stored, right? So they had a safety program of if I found a jackhammer and a human, no problemo. If I found a jackhammer alone with no human around it within 6 feet, right, with the image scaling, then send through a text message that sent a text to the supervisor and the safety officer immediately. Because that was immediately an OSHA violation, because they did not want to get caught with a jackhammer unattended. And so 3 things. Every time you sent a picture through your object recognition, that was a tenth hundredths of a penny, right? But you're still sending 20 cameras several times every couple seconds, right? The object recognizer is a transaction. The human recognizer is a transaction, and then the text service is a transaction.
Interesting.
So they could run this thing for like $300 a month, and that was worth it to them to analyze this construction site, right?
Yeah, seems. I mean, the OSHA violation ticket for that would be way more.
Way more, right?
And then you get multiple strikes, and then it gets OSHA can get kind of insane.
Right. So Microsoft wants to be that thing for someone to design for everybody on planet Earth.
I don't understand. Why did they purchase Beam? Why did they buy Beam?
Okay, so Mojo had a great theory. By the way, freaking Mojo, we need to have him on. He not only has insight into the Warwitch TV thing, which, by the way, apparently he called it years ago.
Did he?
Yes. I've got, and there's a part of that story that involves me too, and me with a discussion with him. But he's a smart mother trucker. In fact, if your bot's running, you may want to throw a smart shout out to Mojo. But Mojo was telling me
Mojo TV,
Mojo D, right?
Mojo D TV,
Mojo D. No TV.
No TV.
But he was saying that what Microsoft really wanted was exclusive rights to nothing else to interfere with Xbox live streaming, because that's their main platform, and they want to drive Xbox data and streaming and all of that. And Beam was getting a little big for their britches and encroaching in on this Xbox space or something. So they grabbed it and said, all right, exclusive, brought into Xbox.
And they shut it down.
It was more of a, one, protect the Xbox streaming a streaming agenda for the next couple of years, and 2, venture capital. We may as well let's see if this works.
Yeah,
right.
It could have taken off. Sure.
They didn't really invest a ton into it, other than the Shroud and Ninja. They tried a couple of things, not the Shroud, but
decision.
The Ninja. And
I've heard some takes on that they should have bought 1,000 mid-sized streamers,
right,
rather than buy Shroud.
What's your price? What was your price? Okay. Rewind to back when you were a partner and you were 60, 70, 80 viewers for the button.
It would have been cheap. It really would have been way cheap. It wouldn't have been millions of dollars.
Cheap, right?
Right? And then I mean, like, growth would have still happened. Still could have gone to HDQ. Nothing would have really changed as far as that was concerned.
Right.
Like, so, yeah, they could have definitely. And then I wouldn't have had to worry. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't have a platform right now, but I wouldn't have had to worry for years and about, because that presumably they'd be paying me a monthly stipend just to be on the platform. And I could stream when I wanted to. Shit, maybe I wouldn't stream at all. Just take 5 years
they probably
off.
Had 3 days a week, at least 2 hours a time, something like that, right?
Yeah. I mean, nobody wanted Mixer. Mixer's the stats on Mixer is so just awful. Ugh.
I mean,
and DLive also had we had a shot at DLive for one day. I think you did 2 days, and then Pute's off DLive now. He signed a contract with YouTube to be on YouTube.
Yeah.
So there's
the concept of DLive is pretty amazing.
It was cool. It was an interesting idea. And we're interested in blockchain in general, like cryptocurrency has its own
and all that
kind of escapism
and by the way,
from government kind of thing.
Yeah, it was exactly like if I wanted to get off the dollar and I wanted to really invest in content creators and give them a stake in the game, right? And not just make this a passing. If I wanted to get them in there and make sure they're rewarded, and I didn't want to be beholden to all this other bull crap, right? That at the time when you and I heard about DLive, there was lots of pressure on Twitch to be, there's like terms of service and all these other things.
Yeah, there's a lot of problems. I mean, there's a
lot of problems still, right? And you didn't want to be beholden to any of these other advertisers or watch what you say, whatever. We
want to get away from that as much as we can.
Right. Your freedom to do whatever. Like, and they had such minimum TOS, right? Minimum terms of service. It was things like safety and copyright and that's it. But they had a little bit of hate speech, not enough. But you could basically get on there with your racist show, and they were going to go, well, you're going to sink or swim. It's your dollar, right?
Yeah.
if you
That's
really
'cause it
wanted
is.
to.
It's just blockchain for them.
That's
They don't
what
care.
I use that as an example of the degree of freedom that you absolutely
Right.
had on DeFi.
They would have
And
had
they
David
said,
Icke on there, for example.
go for it, right? And yeah, I don't know. It was a great idea in terms of freedom, in terms of off the dollar, in terms of cryptocurrency, all kinds of good stuff for DLive. But I don't know,
Yeah,
man.
I think DLive had a lot of possibility, but again,
Yeah.
you're competing in such a, vicious market. I want to say, like,
Yeah.
it's just, these dudes are going to eat your freaking brains out.
Right. I think you couldn't do. I think you couldn't do porn, and you couldn't do like copyright.
Remember.
You couldn't just run The Office, for example, and
You might
run
have been
some
able to. Like, think about how little moderation existed.
There was very little.
You know?
I think they were when I first got on there. There was a dude just watching shows, like on just watching TV.
I believe it's super hard.
I'm sorry, and so like within that first month, I think he was out of there. But there was just someone like running movies, right, and just watching the Avengers on there or something. It was nuts. So, I don't know if Ninja and Shroud are going to come back to Twitch. They probably
They'll
will.
wait to see the signs. They're free
or
agents
YouTube,
again.
or they'll just be exclusive YouTubers now.
They're
free
wait to see who
agents.
signs them. They're going to do the same thing that they were doing at one point when their contracts were up. They're like, hey, who wants to buy? And
Who wants to buy?
Depending on
And
interest,
talks.
they'll take something. They don't care. Like, especially, if they were willing to go to Mixer, they're sure as sugar willing to go to YouTube, right?
100%.
Like, they were willing to take that hit, viewership wise, for the
on
pay.
a 2% on a 2% of the market share.
Tiny.
They were willing to jump.
So they're income motivated, sure, like they ought to be, right? And another acquisition only looks good for them again, because getting purchased again is not a big deal. So Facebook will be vying for them, Google will be vying for them, Twitch will be vying for them, and it just depends.
Yep.
Oh yeah, there's definitely YouTube exclusive deals. There are Twitch partners who have signed YouTube exclusive deal contracts that have walked away from Twitch. So that is definitely something. And they were in bidding for Ninja and Shroud as well. Definitely Ninja. I'm not sure about Shroud.
Yeah, they were 100% in and trying to bid for Ninja.
Because what happened with that was Ninja's boys went out and like, hey, you guys want to sign a contract here? And then that talk started. And then Ninja kind of really snowballed everyone else's talks. Where Shroud,
I agree.
He's like,
and then
what?
Then the rest of that, right? The rest of the top 10 of Twitch went, hey man,
hold on a second. I need to send an email.
You got 30.
I'll take 10.
I could probably get 6.
Yeah, it's not NVD. Like, just to stay on platform, a lot of guys got paid, and no one talked about it, I bet you, as well.
Right.
Like,
oh, yeah.
So,
I think Tatman did. There was a big video where I think a couple dudes did. They said, okay, it was Ninja left, Shroud left, and then
big
a couple
news,
of them
guys.
said,
big news.
They said,
guys,
big news, 4 p.m., be there.
I'm staying here at Twitch.
I'm staying right here.
Yeah, exactly. So,
yeah.
There'll definitely be more talks. It's only a benefit to all streamers as well when these talks happen, because
Because
I hope that
we talked about it when it happened a year and a half ago. A year and a half ago, we said, okay, guess whose stock went up? Mine. Guess whose stock went up? Yours. Twitch's. Everybody's.
Individual person's stock went
individual
up. Individual
persons. Yeah, everybody's stock just went up. So, they were highly promoted.
YouTube was
Facebook
poaching Twitch streamers well before Ninja. Well before, like, I want to say a full year before they were signing.
YouTube was.
Yeah, they were signing specific shows. And in different languages as well. So they were like going after German D&D groups and things like that. You know how like Twitch wants to bring on people from different languages? YouTube was doing that same thing for their live streaming service. So they were kind of doing what people think Mixer should have done, where they're going after these mid-tier guys that didn't have huge followings necessarily, but were making an impact, and they picked them up and they wanted them to encourage them to grow by giving them that income, and then by the time that contract is over, they come back to YouTube and like, hey, do you want to refresh a contract? And you're like, maybe not, because you're here now, you're established, maybe you want to stay anyway.
Right.
I think that was their intention.
But I mean, so okay, think about what that would have meant to you if you had gotten, say, a Mixer note around that time, $50K.
$50K a year?
Just $50K to come over for a year and a half, something like that, and and you go, okay, here's going to pay you, guaranteed. Whatever else you make on top of that is yours, right? You can still post to YouTube. You still have your YouTube income. You still do all that business. Or even 100K. Then you go, oh, okay, well, okay, wait, 100K? I could
Okay,
probably get me a house.
100K is definitely talking now.
Okay,
I'm not gonna put a number on it, but
you
for
see what I'm
just
saying?
a year as well. I mean, that's
For
the whole.
a year, we could try it.
Right.
I
mean,
could do some stuff. I
what
could
would
get
that
me a
have
house,
meant?
right?
I think that would have allowed me
I
to
get some
invest.
stuff done, right?
I could have done a lot of things with that, and I think that we would be in a very similar position probably, because certainly the viewership would have been lower. Certainly the new views would have been lower, and then also taking into account that Mixer is now gone, the deplatformation that would have occurred also would be a thing to be concerned with. But hopefully I would have still continued branching out and doing more things as well.
Yep. But here's the thing:
what do you got for this week?
Yeah, Twitch. Just one parting thought. Twitch could do the same thing. They could just say, you know what, Amazon chooses to Amazon chooses to not do Twitch anymore. We'll just shut her down.
I mean, that'd be wild, as they're the market leader.
Profit and loss. It's just a loss leader. We tried it for 5-6 years. We lost a little bit of money every year. It's not really going where we want to. And for the amount of money that Amazon puts into Twitch, could they just make their own Amazon.com better and do drones and do delivery?
Yeah.
Right? Is there a corner of the business that could have return on investment more, right? And you're the one that told us that Amazon does not really take a profit.
Right, they don't want to.
Puts it all. They don't want to. They put it all right back into the business to make more. Right? They just grow, just growth.
That's their business model, where their CEO basically says, "Hey, we're in the green. Why? Let's fix that. We want to be black.
Zero. We want to be even. We want to be even Steven every year.
Because to compete with the other people, we need to be continually increasing, because it's stepping up, and we hired new people this year, so we need to continue doing that.
We want to expand.
Get going this week.
All right, speed runs. I'm almost through my new build, and I'm doing a lot better. Oh my goodness, hiccup me. I'm gonna shave like 20-30 minutes off my time. I'm gonna get my ninth place trophy back. I've got lots of YouTube videos in the hopper. I'm gonna put a lot of those out there, building up to Factorio 1.0, which is coming out on August 14th. So I have about 5-6 weeks before that. This week, next Saturday, 5 years.
Dang, son. Nice, 5 years. Man. Congratulations,
I've been streaming for 5 years, man.
2 years of being partner?
November 1st was my partner, so it'll have been a year and a half of Twitch partner.
Oh wow, okay. I'm sorry.
And November 2018, November 2019. Yeah, 1.5 years. Right.
Okay, 1.5 years. Nice.
Year and a half.
Awesome. Have a party.
Year and a half as a partner, and within 5 years. So next Saturday, I don't know what we're gonna do. We're gonna have some fun stuff. We may flip through a bunch of games. We may go through unpack a history of.
You should just sit there and chat, honestly, because the boys who are gonna be there to hang out with you.
Yeah. Ash is gonna be with me. Ash will come on with me.
He's been along for a long time. You guys are Twitch partners, You have the Clown Town name as Twitch partners. It's a big deal.
It's a big deal, man.
There's a lot of people who've done 5 years and they're still not there.
There is. Your goddamn thing sticks with me so long. It was like 2.5 years ago, maybe 2 years ago. Someone said, "Hey, Benj, guess what? I got affiliate." And you went, "Congratulations, you're halfway to quitting."
So jaded. So exceedingly jaded.
And
bro.
hey, by the way, think about streaming for 5 years consistently. That's rare air, right?
It really is.
That's rare fight. It's.
I mean, like the amount of people who quit.
The amount of people who quit is just insane. And we Badger and I, a lot of times we will mourn the loss. We'll see someone super talented, and they'll be streaming. We're going, "Oh my gosh, this guy's great," or this
awesome.
This lady's great. They're awesome. Holy crap, they got potential. Let's host this person, and then
they just decided it's not worth it. New Relic always sticks into my mind as a guy who I thought was amazing, and just decided that it wasn't for him. At some point, walked away.
Yeah.
And then we have a lot more of the people to mourn now, not because they quit, but because they did awful things. They're gone. Like it's you just watch your buddies drop like flies. Fenced in, shout out to that guy who quit streaming.
Many cool people. So many cool people.
So many. I mean, it's stick with it, everybody. I know
but here's the thing. So a couple stats on that. I think I've taken only around 3 to 4 days in a row, twice off.
That's
5 years.
crazy. You have
I
so
take
many
one.
jobs, Blake. You're
I take
nuts.
1 day off a week, which keeps my sanity. I'm not a 1501 guy. Like I'm not like that. I do.
Well, that was insane. That was stupid. That was
insane.
ridiculous.
But here's the thing: is that, but I feel like I'm a kind of an Iron Man here. Like, and I feel good mentally. I exercise a ton. I work out in my aggression. My
You're
stress
very
level's
steady.
low, pretty steady, and pretty steady for 5 freaking years, and it's been great. Like the college fund is well on its way. I've got all my
You don't need that. He's gonna be a streamer. He's gonna be a TikToker when he grows up. Okay.
Tuesdays. The only days that are hard for me is Tuesdays when I mean that's going to be heart damage. If we ever look at an echocardiogram or something, my doctor's going to go, what seems to happen here around early 2020 was it you get COVID? No, you didn't get COVID. Was it the race riots? No, what did that? It seems to have happened in the evenings. What is this going on? Oh yeah, the Factorio base where everybody nukes me. Yeah, that's where all the heart damage happened.
Amazing. Cool. I'll be streaming
All right,
Thursday,
what do you
Friday,
got?
Saturday, Sunday. Hopefully again. Still trying for the worthy. We're about to get back on the speedrun train. We haven't hit that yet.
Yep.
I needed some relaxation, so I don't know how much. we'll be
Why?
streaming
Why?
Thursday.
What are you
Yeah,
doing?
why?
You wuss.
I just need time to disconnect from internet, if I'm honest.
It's good. It's
so you'll definitely see me. I've already done shorter streams, but I'm gonna be trying just to get on and saying hi at the least on those days. I can't
That's
promise
good.
you I'll be doing my normal.
You're
6-hour
just
streams.
chatting is great, and you're out. By the way, if you ever want to have a good streaming experience with this guy, be there when he starts. 12 noon is his target time. He's usually on time.
Start
12
times are
noon.
best.
The first hour, he just unpacks streaming. I watched you also before all this bullcrap shook out. You unpacked League of Legends.
Oh, that was fun to talk about. Yeah.
That was great. That was a great unpacking that you did for League of Legends. You need to be there for his first hour because whether he's just chatting or whether he's playing Terraria, he'll unpack and he'll just say hi to everybody for the first hour, and lots of great conversation comes out of that.
It's one of my best
And
conversations.
all kinds
That's when
of
I'm feeling
stuff.
most relaxed as well as the first hour because people are
Yep.
just trickling in, just kind of chill. So yeah, you
Yep.
can check me out on those. Noon CDT, 6 p.m. UK, 7
was great.
p.m. EU time, 3 a.m. Australian time for when I start streams Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
And all your League of Legends questions, he will answer every single one of them.
Sort of, like I haven't played League in such a long time. I sort of know what's going on. Yeah, I'm just chatting while putting my soul into it again. That's kind of what I do. That's been the deal. All right, we're gonna go raid Itchy Badass if you guys want to come along. Just type in hit up a Twitch raid.
He's one of our
good
longtime
friends.
buddies. He's a
we'll see him.
convention dog along with us. He's there every one of them.
Yeah, he does go to
He goes every single
he's
one
one
of
of the reasons that I go to these conventions because
100%.
I
He's
always
great.
feel like every convention that I have conversation with Itchy where I feel like I improve as a person and as a streamer every single time.
Gives us so much to think about.
He does. It's crazy. Stay motivated, everybody. That's the most important thing. If you're motivated, you can do anything. Stay awesome because you're awesome. We'll see you next time. And remember, wash your hands.
Wash those hands.